Come on, honey, take the slag of my dick tucked back and I'm trying to hide. Hello, everyone. Hola, mis amigos. You're listening to Oh My God, Hi, Hijo de Dios. Hola. With me, George Lopez, porque ¿sabes qué? Let's do the show, porque I got a lot of things to do. I gotta go to that dry cleaner ahí. My kid fell, se pegó la cabeza. I gotta go get some Neosporin Paul. Oh my God, hi.
This will be part 2 of our series of Walking with Herb shows.
Awful, dude. You're so bad at this. You have to be like, oh my God, hi. You have to do it.
Throw it down.
The voicemail won't be heard.
No OMG highs, please. You gotta be white with it. Just be white with it. Okay, these are voicemails that are from actual listeners, and they call the line 818-533-1843, and you got to say...
One beer, he's all baboso.
I am baboso. All right, this is our first voicemail coming up. Asking George a question.
Yeah, George, how you doing, man? I have a question.
The question
I've been
is...
married a long time, 22 years, and... My wife will not have sex with me anymore. I don't know what it is, but it's
22 years.
At least a year and a half since we've had sex.
Oh.
You know, I don't know. I've tried and tried, but she just won't do it.
Okay, thank you. That's a good. The guy didn't have to leave his name. We were just talking about that. Yourself, Bryan, you and your wife are just brand new relationship, right?
Yep. Well, we actually been together 10 years.
Okay. And sexually, you guys are fine?
Well, she's been pregnant, so there's been no sex for, a year.
Okay, let's ask this. Are you one of those people that cannot have sex with a person that's pregnant? I was. When I was married,
really?
I couldn't do it.
So I'm going to go real deep here. So we did IVF, right? So I'm like, I don't want to go ruin my kid.
That's
having
what I thought.
all
The
this
little
stuff.
to come up with some dick dents all over him.
Yeah.
Looked like he was in hail. It looked like he was standing.
Yeah.
He was born in a hailstorm.
Sorry, honey, but I'm telling everybody what we do. But yeah, there is no sex in this house until after the baby's born.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So okay, from the second she knew she was pregnant, nothing. Wow.
And to be honest, she's the one who's like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, no. No, like I don't want to poke my kid in the eye.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
No,
Listen.
Awesome. I think that's there's two thoughts. I mean, there's only one or two. You don't do it and then not finish. So because I think it destroys her self-esteem. Because some people think that women are their most beautiful when they're with child. That the gift of creating a life inside of you is a wonderful thing. You can also believe that someone would be of the mind to not have sex, like what Bryan just said. Mm-hmm. I would be of that mind. And how about you? I don't think you could have adhered to that, right?
No, I think we would have had just as much, if not more.
And how long have you been married?
I've been married for 18 years.
Okay,
together for 20.
That's huge.
When you have somebody at home that is your partner, and after 20, 22 years, she doesn't want to have sex. They haven't had sex in a year and a half. Ladies, your man is going to go somewhere else. So the remedy is to make him feel like your partner and not like he's there to pay bills or to be at your beck and call. When people get married, what attracts them first is they're attracted to each other. Now, 20 years in, if you stop becoming sexually active for a year and a half, it's going to go 2 years and a half, and then you'll end up sleeping in different bedrooms, and then it'll all come down to that guy when he does get busted, or it's not going to end well. That doesn't end well.
I think a question we might have asked that guy if I had a chance is, are you still getting along the same as you did a couple of years ago when you were having sex? Because, I mean, that's a big deal.
As the marriage goes on, everybody still has a role to play, and it's time to spread bread. That's what I said. Okay.
Well said. Artistic even. All right, moving on.
Hey, George, this is Leo. I just wanted to call and tell you about my mom, Mary. She passed away about a week ago.
Wow, that's why.
the one thing she always liked watching was the George Lopez show.
Ah, cool.
And she really enjoyed it.
Very cool.
Even on her last night with us, my sister asked her, do you want to watch TV? She nodded, yeah. You want to watch George Lopez? And she nodded yes again, and, it brought her some, happiness. It's always something she loved watching. I just wanted to thank you, that she had your comedy to be happy towards the end. All right, thank you very much.
Well, listen, I first want to say I'm sorry for your loss. Someone's mother is, I get along with your mom very well.
My mother loves you.
Haven't gone in for the tongue yet. We're both single.
Only because you haven't tried.
I told him that I was going to be his stepdad, but your mom has always been very nice to me.
Yes, she loves you.
I bought her a Louis Vuitton purse.
Which she's very, very, very proud of.
And still, I didn't get any from that one. I thought that was for sure.
She said, hey, if he thinks I'm going to spread bread for this. No.
So, yeah, man, my condolences. And I can't tell you how, touched I am that the show would have brought her comfort and laughter. Because, we forget sometimes that people are living real lives and they do suffer loss. When my grandmother passed at the hospital there in Sylmar, and I walked downstairs and people saw me and they said, "Oh, can we take a picture with you?" My grandmother had just passed, and I did. I did, because it's kind of what didn't help me get through it. But if you don't, you're a fucking asshole, like some of those people on Instagram right now. You fucking puto. So you see that, you try to make a place for people, but I appreciate a call like that.
Yeah, that was touching.
Yeah. Are we still going live here? Let me do it.
We are live. We're live.
Let's get ready to go.
Someone wanted to see the can.
Yeah,
so
the
I
can.
put it over them. I said, here you
Oh,
go.
right. Eric, show me the eyeball, too. The eyeball's great in there.
Which eyeball? Oh, because I'm like, what eyeball are you talking about? Here we go.
All right.
There's the eyeball.
Come on, Grant.
All right,
go,
number
Pablo.
3. Please, sorry.
Oh, my God.
There you go.
Hi, George. Hey, this is Gregorio from Big D, Dallas.
Big D!
Hey, calling to see if you're a still avid cigar smoker. Can you make a recommendation in potentially a Churchill length? Chingon Vato.
Yes, cigars, you have to be careful with as well, because I think they all have their place. No woman likes to smell a cigar smoke. At least I haven't found. Maybe a couple. Yeah, a couple. But cigar-wise, there's some great. Padron is a fantastic company. They gave me some when I was in Miami. Padron is good. Mm-hmm. Also, they make Roman Julieta. That's a Dominican Churchill. That's a perfect cigar for that. But if you want to get into smoking cigars, or you are into smoking cigars, get a Cigar Aficionado or subscribe to to the magazine. And every month they send, and they have their recommendations there, and it's good.
Delicious.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on IG Live. Was it fun?
Yeah. I hope they enjoyed it.
I was bored. If they didn't, fuck.
No, they're
But yeah,
they great people in there.
Brian, they love me. I know.
God bless you all.
I love you guys too. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Let's do another one. What the hey?
Oh my God! Hi.
Excellent.
So, I have
Ding.
this problem. I don't care about farting in front of my girlfriend, and she thinks it's pretty gross. I do this thing where I wake up in the morning, and I just fucking, I just let it rip, man. And she's like, "Oh, that's so gross," but I think it's normal. What do you think? Better out than in, George? Eh?
I don't think that's. I don't know, man, dude. That sounds like a motherfucker, like your roommates, right?
Well,
I don't think. Go ahead.
That's a great relationship question. All right, Brian. I mean, I got to ask you. You've been with your wife for 10 years, correct?
10 years, yeah.
How long was it before you farted in front of her?
Oh, God, I'm not kidding. About 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay,
Yeah, that's 2 weeks. Yeah.
Her in front of you.
How do you guys do that?
Okay, so that I think probably took about 2 years.
Yeah, there you go. It's way different, right?
And I'm not kidding. I think it was like literally 2 years.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah. Now it's like she Dutch ovens me all the time.
Oh, no.
Now she laughs at me. She goes,
That's true love right there. That's awesome.
Hey,
sorry, honey, I didn't mean to say
Ovens
that.
me.
but-
That's so great.
and women's farts. Let me tell you something. One time Ann farted, and damn, man.
Oh God.
It's different when a woman farts, because a man will be like, "I ain't ever going down there until I get the all clear sign." There's a lot of there are a lot of things down there that could go wrong.
I think like when your girl farts in front of you the first time, it's hilarious. You think it's the cutest thing in the world. George even talks about this, and at first it's the cutest thing in the world. And
Well, they've let their guard down finally.
Yeah,
You know,
it's very cute.
You ever walk into a room where they farted and you walk right through it?
Yeah. Oh, that's
Like a goddamn silk curtain. That's what they should call the silk curtain of caca.
Right, it attaches to your
They're like,
face.
don't come over here. And you're like, why? And shit floated. How can shit be invisible? That's what I want to know. The smell of it.
We'll have to ask our crack science team on that one.
Somehow there should be a scientist that can create sparkles in the air that you know not to go into the room. If you see blue, little blue dots, don't come in there.
You know, when they're pregnant, they blame the baby. They're like, oh, the baby just he just went.
Right.
He just went. And you're like, oh yeah, the baby just went. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing like a fart with some fucking placebo coming through the placebo.
Oh, hey now.
What do they call it? A fart with some placenta coming through a lady's culo.
Oh man,
It's like,
if that doesn't make you hungry, you're not human.
It's something wrapped in shit that's coming out. Your waiter will be right here for you. So yeah, that's not. So you guys do, or does Marcy?
Oh yeah, Marcy throws down. But I mean, I've been together for 20 years now. I mean, that's been a while. But like I said, at first it's like hilarious. And after a while, it's just whatever. It doesn't matter. But the first one is classic because it takes them longer. Guys are guys.
Yeah, we'll just let it rip. They're very particular about that.
Yeah. My daughter and. My daughter and her husband, they still don't, and they've been together for 12 years. They still don't.
Is a relationship is a relationship better because you don't? But that's a very rare thing. I think that there are rare occasions. I remember one time I went to a party. I think I talked about this in my stand-up, and I forgot my sunglasses. I always forgot my sunglasses. And I went in the car, and when you're not going to do it at the party, and you get in the car, you're like, that motherfucker came out, and somebody knocked on the window, and they're like, roll your window down, you forgot your sunglasses. I'm like, those are mine. And, clearly they were mine. And I rolled them down, and the smell of fucking caca hit them, and I said, call police, because somebody shit in my car while I was in the party.
Look, I think if you can blow it up like that, if you can blow it up, that's true love, right? Really, you think about it. When you can drop it down,
you're open.
You're open.
You know what's funny is
there are no secrets anymore.
Oh, yeah.
No. Yeah. Do you hide your underwear that tocado? Your calzón tocados? I did.
Well, I still. Well, I mean, I won't let her see it. I mean, I'll roll them up. I don't want to.
Where do you put them?
I put them in the same place. I just make sure I do the laundry.
Here's two stories. Big Boy, who's on the radio in Los Angeles. Big Boy.
Oh, he's great.
I've known him for maybe 30 years. And we made these tour jackets that on the back said El Más Chingón, printed, great jackets, almost like working jackets. And then it said FTP on the front. So Big Boy, I got Big Boy one. And he came down to Nokia when I was performing there, and I handed it to him on a hanger, and he put it on, and he put his hand in his pocket, and he pulls out my underwear with shit all over him because I hide them in the pockets of my jackets. And he goes, I swear to God, dude.
Oh, God, that's awesome.
And he goes, gee, is this you? And I said, oh, yeah, man, let me have that.
Like you wanted it back. Oh, that's awesome.
And casually, he didn't go like, Jesus Christ. He knew, he picked it up and rolled up in a little ball, caca.
Oh, God.
And he said, is this you, G? And then he still wore the jacket, God bless him, and took it with him.
Oh.
That one, and when in the early 80s, we met this guy who was a little bit more cultured than us, Bobby Aragon. He's a fire chief here in Los Angeles. And we went to one of his parties where they didn't look at us, fondly. It was in Granada Hills, and we were from San Fernando Mission Hills. And Guillermo Gonzalez, who was my best friend growing up, said at 2 o'clock, he made like a basket of hard-boiled eggs. And we went over to his house, and he had Old English 800 and some Sunny Delight. And he's like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he goes, this is what we're going to eat right now. And then we're going to go to that party, and we're going to fucking crop dust everybody. It's the first time I ever heard crop dusting.
Oh, my God.
So we ate the hard-boiled eggs, drank Sunny Delight, and then finished 2 Tall Boy 800, Old English 800. And
there's no joke. Old English. Geez.
On the car ride over there, we were gagging each other, the thing. And we got out, and we would walk up in conversation, and we would say, yes. What's interesting is because near Northridge, there's a place, and then just step away, and maybe you're 5 feet away before they go, God! And we were just crop dusted a party that it was a party not for us, But the idea of crop dusting guests at a party.
Oh, God, that's
Once again, the
hilarious.
recipe for anybody that's listening. A basket of hard-boiled eggs, Sunny Delight, and 2 tall cans of Old English 800, and let the pedos fly.
Where do you even buy Old English 800 anymore? Like, I've never even seen it. Like 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
No.
You
You got to go to
like a stove.
almost like the black neighborhood, 812. You know, they got like, you know, they have the knockoff markets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they don't have Bonds, they have Johns.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you had to shake down a homeless guy. He
Right
had
there.
it.
Yeah.
It was rough. That stuff was rough.
It's
yeah.
going to be close to where you can cash your check and change
buy
your,
liquor.
and change your baby in there.
Oh my gosh.
No, that's an interesting one, right? When you drive by liquor and checks cashed.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know
Yeah.
it's a
Great
disaster
double.
when you see that sign.
Right? I used to get my check cashed when I got paid from delivering beer, and they were selling alcohol, and then you would have a $800 check, and they would reach in their pocket, pull out a wad of $4,000 and give it to you, and not worry about.
Would you tell them? Because Bryan has had Bryan Kellen at Superboy Comedy. Bryan Kellen has had pretty much. He sold sperm. Tell me when you sold sperm. I give mine away for free, but you sell yours.
I sold it in college. You know, did you ever hear about that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, in my college newspaper, it said sell your sperm and make like 110 a week or something like that. I'm like, wow, that's easy enough. So I did it for years. It was amazing.
You got 100 kids now.
Yeah, I
And
probably
I'm
have.
serious.
Well,
you
remember
probably do.
that movie with Vince Vaughn, right? Where he had all
Yep.
those kids. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
You know what? I don't want to break your bubble, but they show the picture of the sperm donor before the woman picks the
man.
sperm, and if you see this motherfucking honker right there, you're gonna be like, no.
I know.
Brian's like, I actually have no kids. It turns out.
Yeah, no one checked yet.
It's almost like that fucking yogurt that they try to move to the front when the date's gone, and nobody's buying it, and they just fucking put it back in there. You know, some organization,
Right.
or they give it to a convalescent home
That was my
that they don't mind eating Dannon yogurt. A month and a half past the expiration date.
Your kid's gonna sell Fruit Loops. when it
But
goes
yeah,
up.
so walk me through the process of how
it's great.
someone would go about selling sperm.
So you call in, all right, and you first of all
Crema.
they give you a massive physical before you got to check it and get everything dealt with. But then you walk in. What you do is you drive to Century Cities.
You walk right in, sit right down,
and
drop
take care
a big load of sperm.
That's exactly what it is. So you go in there, and at first it's embarrassing. You walk in there, and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna just do my business like. And
At
everybody
first,
knows
it's
it.
embarrassing.
So you walk in there, and they have what we used to call them the masturbatoriums. So there's like a bunch of like almost fitting room type things.
Oh, I did IVF. Trust me.
So you know.
I'm very familiar with that.
Oh,
you know?
well,
All right, that
awesome.
one's next. This one's first. Go ahead.
So then you walk in there, and they have these little rooms, and they're awesome. I mean, I was 19, 20, and they had on the walls all kinds of porn. They had like all kinds of play, but whatever you wanted to look at to get yourself. But they send you with your little cup with a lid on it, and they're like, just make sure it all gets in there, kind of thing, So you do your business, you walk out, and everyone walks out, and no one has a problem with it. And at first, it's really embarrassing, but by the third time, you're high-fiving dudes like, "What's up? That's gonna be good. What you got? You ready? I'm ready. Let's go." It's great. And then they make sure you have a good batch, and they pay your money.
Was there a day that you went like at the same time? People go down to the flower mart in LA every morning. Like, you can't get there at 7. Is there a day because all flowers are
I always went after my biology class.
I don't know why.
For whatever reason, that was the best time for me. After my biology lab in college, I just took off from my car, and I knew no one would know I'd be gone for very long. I think my football practice started later that day or something like that. So I just hauled ass to Westwood from the Valley, and then I would come. I went to CSUN, and then I would come back and refreshed, ready to go.
Go Matadors. Right?
Go Matadors. Exactly. That was great. But you had to stay. You had to abstain.
How many times would you say that you sold sperm?
How many sessions I did?
Yeah.
I'd have to say, God, maybe 100. Maybe 100. I think so, yeah. Well, more than that. Probably maybe 200. I was on a program.
Fucking insatiable.
Yeah.
So what was your sperm count? Do you remember?
I don't.
Your average sperm count.
Well, you had to reach a certain level. I know that the minimum was I don't know what good or bad
20 million.
Oh, really? I don't even know. But you had to be above us. You had to reach a score because they obviously had to have a lot of swimmers in there. So they make sure your level's all right. So a lot of people don't pass a test, surprisingly. So I was one of the lucky ones. And you can go only 3 times a week at most.
Do you think that it's always the porn stars that are a little goofy looking like this that have the biggest rods.
Oh yeah.
Like sometimes a good looking dude, you'll be like, oh, cannot see. But then a guy like this, he's got like a fucking cuerno down there, fucking Louisville slugger on the side of it.
My favorite word.
Fucking nightstick.
My favorite word is cuerno.
Guy's got a fucking horn down there, man.
One time I was on a plane, and before we got on the plane, but I sent my wife a picture of myself. We were on a trip, and I said, and I don't know how he got a hold of it, but he's on the plane. He's all, "Is this you?" I'm like, "What the fuck? How does that happen?"
I thought it was a bird feeding a worm to a little bird, but it was not. It was Bryan and
God. All right.
Alleged palo. And that thing caught the light. Your dick is big when it catches the light. It looks like two different colors.
Oh God! Wow, this is taking a turn.
Fucking rotisserie bob over here.
This guy's got a massive,
This
the
is
magic
fucking
stick.
horn.
Taking
man.
a turn.
And he hasn't trimmed his bush forever.
Yeah, you can't. You can't when you're married because your wife's like, "What's going on down there?" They're married for 20 years. They can't just escape it. And she's like,
Well, they think they're like, you're cheating on me. Why you landscaping it all of a sudden?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Usually it's called manscaping, but see the shit behind him? That's part of what's going between his legs and the back. All that fucking shrub back there.
Oh my God. We need to get a video of that. Yeah.
Like a fucking octopus. The octopus professor.
If I took my shirt off, this is what it would look like. That's my background.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's still very sexually active. So getting back to the guy's question, after all those years, I think it's time to have a heart-to-heart discussion with your old lady.
Yes.
As opposed to seeking action somewhere else. Because no good will come from that.
You're right.
And you're eroding your marriage. And if you care about her, sit down and have the discussion with her. And then how does the in vitro situation? It's not easy.
No. It's look. Thank God it's there, right? Because people do have issues. It's very difficult. It's extremely emotional, and the thing is, nothing is guaranteed, and it's also really expensive. So you start out in this process by. The guy's easy. Let's be honest. We pretty much, they say, we need your sperm. Let's go take. You go to the office and they open a door for you. A real short little funny lady smiles at you. She gives you your little cup and she goes, "I'll see you in a minute." And then you say, okay, you walk in and there's a computer with porn all over. Red tube. They have red tube's their default. Like that's the porn site they like.
Oh, right on.
Right? You got red tube going on, and then they just say, get your thing and hurry up. And then the problem is there's all these people whacking off right next to you. So you can hear it in the other rooms because the walls are thin.
That's horrible.
So you're like, how do I concentrate? So that's the worst part. But then the girl, oh man, guys, for the female, it's really emotional. Like they have to have their eggs taken out, and they put them under anesthesia, and then they take the eggs out, and then when they fuse the eggs and the sperm together, which happens kind of quickly, what could happen is you could spend all this money at that point, put your wife or your significant other under all this scrutiny, and then it could not fertilize. You could get nothing out of it, and then you got to do another round.
Oh, man.
And age has a huge factor for women to do it. Once you get over, 35 years old, it becomes really, really difficult.
And why is that? Because their body changes as you get older. You don't produce as many eggs, or?
So a woman, I learned this through the process. So a woman is born with all of the eggs she's ever going to have. So if you have a daughter, right, she was born with every egg she's ever going to have. And they shed hundreds and sometimes thousands of eggs per month. And you only have one. So it's kind of a miracle that any of us are born because you only got this one egg. So by the time they get 35, after that, it just starts declining how many eggs are actually good. So you're searching for that one golden egg. So for example, you could have 18 eggs retrieved, and when you fuse them together, only 1 or 2 could be good. And for some people, it's 0. Devastating.
Oh, wow.
So if you go in there like one time and they harvest these amount of eggs and they try to match the sperm and the egg and it doesn't work, can you come back next month, next year, in 6 months, or is that?
No, so you can keep coming back. You can come back a month later if you wanted to and restart the process.
And it's very expensive.
Very expensive. But what happens is it's hard on the woman because they're putting all of these synthetics needles.
right.
Like you're just the onlooker as the husband or the significant other, I should say, right? And they inject themselves with all these massive hormones to grow and stimulate their ovaries and the eggs. And for them, it's just, they can't eat certain foods. They get bloated. Their ovaries start hurting because they get too big with all the eggs. So you probably want to wait a few months. But yeah, you could. If you really wanted to go in, you could go the next month over. But at one point, if it's just not working, then that's the sad part. The doctors say, hey, you do it this way. The good thing is you have adoption. You can carry other people's eggs these days. But yeah, it's a hard process.
Wow.
Well, congratulations for getting it done. Yeah, they have a surrogate that my Theo got a girl pregnant, and my Theo said, hey, you motherfucker, you're cheating on me. And he said, that's a surrogate.
Oh my God. He donated.
No,
And then she goes, she's not using my egg. I took one from the refrigerator when you were sleeping. I went over to Barstow and I got it. By the Roy Rogers Museum. It's the Horvath Clinic, the Horvath Clinic of Barstow. So anybody that's trying to do that, God bless you, because I have one daughter and lucky to have her. So it is expensive, but bringing a life into this world with somebody that you love is, and then you can't imagine that you could love anything more than golf, but I do. So yeah, my daughter, mine is great, and I always thought I'd have more than one, but if that's her, I'm happy to have just her. All right,
that's amazing.
You did well. She's amazing. She's amazing.
She's a great girl.
All right, well, let's do some news. There's our first one from BBC.com. Mother used Deepfake to frame cheerleading rivals. Do you guys know what Deepfake is?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, Rafaela Spoon from Pennsylvania, United States, reportedly sent the content which showed members of the Victory Vipers team naked, drinking, and smoking to the coach. So Deepfake uses artificial intelligence to doctor images and videos.
Oh man!
So she basically put their faces on naked images and sent them out, and they were girls who rivaled her daughter, who was a teen. Right?
That's rough.
Yeah, Miss Spoon is also accused of sending abusive messages to the team, their parents, and owners of the cheerleading gym for fake phone numbers. So
wait a minute, that's somebody's mom that did that? Okay, listen, if we're going to get into this artificial intelligence shit, nobody's going to be safe.
Right.
Because a kid can do that, which they almost can do it already, and you start to look at those things, they'll have me and you blowing each other.
Yep. No, they will.
Well, at least that was a little claim. It's fake.
That was fake.
I swear to God, it's artificial intelligence.
That guy that has no bush, that's a fake video.
Exactly. How'd you know that? Well, all right, it's fake. Yeah, can you imagine
right?
that?
I think, I remember when I went to Facebook years ago, and they gave me the app to Facebook Live before anybody had it, a month before it was out, and they presented it to me and they said, "Be very careful. We're giving you something that no one has yet. This is going to be the biggest thing. So you could go live, but also, don't make a porn and don't leave it on when you're, And I had that in my phone, which." I don't think I was a little afraid to use it because it is a lot of, but I think in the hands of a teenager where you could start to throw faces on different people and create stuff like that where you could send to the police and get them to arrest somebody, possibly be aggressive with them. And it's all been kind of made from this artificial intelligence thing, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
How wicked is that of a parent? That's a parent who did that.
That's a competitive woman right there.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. But it's really hard to tell.
That lady is way overweight.
She's an
ex-cheerleader.
She's Hispanic for
Not that
sure.
I'm not.
She's
She's Hispanic. No one has that kind of wrath except the Hispanic women.
I know. Well,
right?
Yeah,
some
you hit the
trailer
nail on the
trash
head.
that's a little bit fucking out there too. Can we get away from the word trailer trash, because every trailer you see now has water hookups and electricity. I don't think we're talking about these days trailers. All right. So anybody out there lives in a trailer, even though it says Tahatchee Estates, it's not what it used to be, what you would consider that it smelled like peanut butter and jelly,
which is
People have phones in there and they wear shoes.
but they wear shoes in
Guys,
there.
I grew up in a trailer. You don't know this, right? You don't know this. I grew up in a trailer in New Mexico. It was a nice trailer.
No, you
It was-
so
it
you
was a
live in
nice
a great.
trailer.
Oh,
It was-
nice.
Is it one of those
It
where
was
it's
a
100
double. It was a double.
double wide?
Is it one of those where it's
Double wide.
114 in the living room and fucking 98 in the bedroom? And
Yes.
the
Oh.
bathroom's freezing
Yes.
because you can't get the whole thing one temperature.
Yep. And if someone flushes the toilet when you take a shower, it scorches your back.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
hey, that transitions well to this story. This is from WHDH.com. A man is facing charges after he allegedly stole a 400-pound slide from a playground and mounted it on a bunk bed in his home. His home trailer.
Oh man.
400 pounds.
Maybe is it close by? I'll go over there right now.
He said Dustin Allen Bushnell, 30 of Burbank, Washington, was arrested Tuesday on a charge of possession of stolen property, according to the Pasco Police Department. Detective Julie Lee was investigating a series of catalytic converter thefts when evidence led her to Bushnell's home, police said.
They still steal catalytic converters?
Huge. It's huge right now. All Hondas are in danger, right? Seriously, Hondas are, if you park your Honda outside a garage, you're in trouble.
All right, take it easy.
Sorry.
Relax.
Hey, my neighbor just got
Get
like
one fucking
popped.
beer. Like, goddamn.
I know, exactly. I'm a little fired up. But Lee suddenly came face to face with a gigantic slide, which was reportedly stolen in December of 2020, and she searched the home for catalytic converters. Bushnell sawed off the slide, repainted it, and mounted it on his bunk bed in a child's bedroom at his mobile home. So that's what this dude did. He repainted it and put a 400-pound slide in his mobile home, which I'm sure was a little bit bigger
All
than
right,
that.
listen, I want to fucking take back what I said about mobile homes and trailer trash.
I know,
You're
that's
back
awesome.
on fucking trailer trash here. Open that one right there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And let's
Excuse
pass
me.
it around.
Yeah, we'll take a break. Let's go.
But what do you think economically put somebody in a trailer? Like when you guys were growing up, like what were you poor or what? How did you end up in a trailer?
That's a really good question, right? So no, like to us, we weren't poor. Like as a matter of fact, the community I grew up in, we were the rich kids. Does that sound weird? People
Right.
thought we were rich, and we actually grew up
Don't give it
thinking
to him, fucking
we
bastard.
were rich. They grew up thinking we were rich. So essentially, what happened is it was just the easiest, fastest way. I'll tell you, you're gonna laugh. My mom is gonna laugh at this and probably be pissed off.
I
at the
met your
same
mom.
time.
She's an attractive lady. Huh?
Yeah, no, my mom's amazing, right? She's a great woman. My mom is very beautiful, but
I bet one more.
Take it easy.
But so what happened is, so my grandpa, wanted to get her own house because we were staying at my grandmother's place, right? And they were fighting, my mom and my grandmother, mother-daughter rivalry, and my grandpa said, I need to get her out of here. So he literally just found a trailer like in 2 days and a piece of property and just bought her the trailer and said, here you go. My mom was 20, I think she was 24 years old at the time, right? Here you go. That's where
Wow.
you're going to live.
Wow.
And she landed up just living there and converting the trailer into a house. But that's how we did. No one else in my family ever lived in a trailer but us. Isn't that interesting? But the community we're in was so poor that we were the rich kids. Does that sound weird?
How long did you live in the trailer? I'm sorry.
So we lived in the trailer for about 10 years and then still lived in the trailer, but they knocked parts of the walls down and turned it into a house. Isn't that
so they
crazy?
made it into a
like they
house.
made
Oh,
it into
yeah.
a house, but it was still at its bones a trailer. Isn't that crazy?
Now, is it
But
still
we lived
there?
It's still there. Still up there and still going.
And you own it. I mean, your family.
And we own it and we rent it out. Isn't that crazy?
Right
It is
on.
now a
So
rental.
It
Yeah.
was an amazing gift then.
Yeah,
It turns out.
Yeah, it totally was. But isn't that? I'm telling you again. The strangest thing to me is, we never thought we were poor, because in the community we're in, they were like, you were the rich kids.
Wow. That's
Isn't that
amazing.
strange?
That's awesome.
You know,
actually.
there's something to be said for that, because I think without social media and without people trying to, be more than they are in real life, making, with filters and things, like I was telling you that people, like I'm almost 60, man. Like I haven't been in high school in 40 years. And, anytime somebody's upset with me, they attack like the way I look, how I'm aging, and I'll bring up the stuff with my wife. And it is fucking like high school to think that these are adults that don't have, I'm probably sure they do have something better, but do you think that a comment that I'm never gonna read satisfies you, that you've even sent it, that you're taking time out of your life, which is time is the one thing we can't make, and then you choose to either attack me or leave me a negative comment, does that really kind of make you feel better? Does it make you feel like you're a better person than me? Does it make you feel like you're good? You know, you have kids. Is that an example to send to people that you're responsible for their upbringing, that somebody who's an adult would attack another person worse than if someone was in high school?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that, and unfortunately, that's where we are as a culture. Not only, remember, politics was something no one spoke about, but your comment is not going to change the way I feel about my politics or change the way I feel about people, which, let's forget, most of you guys are wrestling fans, and in the trailer, that wrestling isn't real and it's created, and just like entertainment, this isn't real. You know, I don't really act like this. Well, I do. In real life.
wait, this is real, but the other stuff is not.
But this is probably the most real I've been.
Yeah.
But, you know, I can't thank you enough for supporting me, or I can't ignore you enough when you don't. It just doesn't matter. So at some point, people that leave comments, not just for me, but for celebrities, they don't give a fuck, man. They don't care. We got other shit to do than be fucking scrolling and looking at what you're writing.
Yeah.
All right, next. What else?
All right. Well, speaking of high
So how
school,
does the guy get that slide though in his fucking room?
so he cut it off. He cut it off of a local
And instead of water,
playground.
did he use a fucking Big Red? Come on, honey.
Probably, right?
Come
And he
on,
welded
honey.
it in. He welded
Come
it
on,
in.
honey, take the slide. I got my dick tucked back and I'm trying to hide.
Yeah, he's not like this in real life.
Everybody, come on, honey, take the slide. I got my dick tucked back and I'm trying to hide. That's an original.
Bryan Espinosa is our guest today.
I will create a song.
Oh man, no,
I
that
think
was my
that's a
neighbor.
good one.
That's a good one. That's outstanding.
Come on, honey, take the slide. I got my knob tucked down and I'm ready to hide. All right, good.
All right. This one comes from CBSNews.com. That sounds real. This high school announcer blames diabetes for racist remarks towards girls who kneeled during national anthem. Yep.
What about girls that kneel after later on?
There's no
Okay, so
diabetes there.
so this one, the guy used the N-word.
Yes, he did. Yes, as you well know this, yes.
And, you know, did he lose his job?
You know, it doesn't say whether he lost his job. He must have lost his job, but they didn't say.
But also anybody who is an announcer who thinks that when you go to commercial, you really have gone to commercial, no. Those games don't last long enough for someone to forget that, you know, they're doing this as their profession. Mm-hmm. Right. And, you know, it didn't serve Imus well. And, you know, it just creates, well, I wouldn't say that it creates something that is surprising to anybody, unfortunately. So that guy should lose his job because you're there to announce a game that hasn't, you know, you're announcing the game as it happens. And your job is not what you would consider the Surgeon General's job, is to fucking diagnose people from the fucking press box.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It's a real good point.
And the fact that he just went there, though, and he was on a live mic. He didn't think the mic was live. So what happened was he just said this stuff. He's all, F them. I hope they lose, he said. If they're going to kneel like that, hell no. And then he called him the N-word video on a live broadcast. Yeah. And it was shared online.
He'll lose his job.
No, he's done.
He'll lose his job, and he'll be announcing fucking spills at Wiggly Piggly, whatever the fuck that name is.
Well, you know, there are things that are acceptable, and then there's things that just aren't, right? And that is not acceptable.
Listen,
right? It's not.
You know, you can disagree with people and have respect. That guy, whenever somebody turns a mic on, you have to assume that it might be live. But when you have no respect, then you shouldn't be in a position like that.
Well, the thing is, too, he didn't own it at all.
Let me say something. I didn't know Tom Landry. Thought Tom Landry was an amazing coach.
Uh-huh.
And when he got fired by Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones, what's beautiful about this guy, and you know, most people probably don't know who he is. He always wore a hat, had a coat, and he was like stone, man. Mm-hmm. And even Vince Lombardi, or Paul Brown, or John Madden, or, you know, all of the great coach, Don Shula.
Yeah.
Those guys had decorum, they had respect, and none of those guys ever went there. And if you think that they didn't get to where they got to coach at a pro level without some bias towards something, but they were there to coach players, not to divide players. And, you know, respectfully, Tom Landry took that firing, which was a huge embarrassment for him, and took it like a man and walked off.
Yep. Classy as he always was.
You know, now if you're Joe Paterno and somebody comes to you and says, hey, God, your offensive lineman he's going for some en routes at the fucking shower, and
En routes.
That again was something that, as beloved as he was, and people supporting him, which you could understand, the act of what was done by Sandusky eliminates any of the good, unfortunately, that was done by this wonderful, incredible coach as a coach.
Yeah.
And they took down his statue and they covered it up and they removed it because in this climate right now, when it was in your heart and you never said it, they didn't take it away from your heart. But as these things happen now and things are revealed, then those people have to suffer the consequences.
Yep. Yeah. And again, he didn't cop to it at all. So it's not like he apologized. Really, he's like, I will state that I suffer from type 1 diabetes, and during the game, my sugar was spiking. Are you kidding me?
No.
Let's read a statement. Is sugar spiking there having a fucking scooter pie while he's doing the game?
During the high school
girls
basketball game.
Amazing. I'm surprised I haven't lost a leg of diabetes.
Oh yeah,
they were fucking great. Malomars and moon pies.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
man,
forget
all
it.
chemical. You can leave. Hey, listen, I could put a scooter pie on this fucking roof right now. Come back tomorrow, it'll be fucking 12 of them up there.
Don't forget about those. Don't forget those little Debbie's. Those little Debbie's oatmeal cream pies, man.
Oh,
I bet you little Debbie
I ate a
was,
box of those.
I bet you little Debbie was little when she fucking started the company. Fat ass Debbie. They don't call them fat ass Debbies
for nothing.
And now the pie that from Kenkel's, the coffee cake that everybody knows from junior high. Somebody told me the other day that they know somebody that makes coffee. Ruben, that makes the coffee cakes that we all ate in high school with the crust around the edges.
That's what he said. Yeah, found a guy who makes them.
Wow.
And if you went to school in Los Angeles,
man.
That reminds me of like Romeo and Michelle's high school. And like, I invented Post-it notes. Like, how do we know that's true?
Yeah, exactly right.
Like the dude from the Monkees invented whiteout.
Yeah, his mom invented whiteout, right?
You would have thought somebody from Watts would have invented whiteout.
Hey. Okay. That's the. Okay. All right. We'll move right along. How about that? We'll move right along to. Oh, this is a good one too. This is one of my favorite ones because this is unfreaking believable.
Are you buzzing
Panda
already?
Express. I'm buzzing like crazy. I'm buzzing like your cousin. This is from the PasadenaStarNews.com. Panda Express workers forced to strip in cult-like team building seminar.
Which Panda Express?
Well, it's the one here, I think.
Wait a minute. It's
Orange County Register, so it's around here. Yeah, in Santa Clarita.
So if you work for the Panda Express, where they go in there?
So what they do, yeah. The one
They go in there and they line you up and say, all right, orale, orange chicken, drop them.
Yeah.
Shrimp fried rice.
Yeah, it's a lot like this.
Stop the grinning and drop the linen.
Well done. A former employee of Panda Express in Santa Clarita alleges she was required to strip down to her underwear and hug a partially clad coworker during a cult-like ritual at a 2019 training seminar sponsored by the company as a prerequisite for promotion.
Oh, that's just old school, man. Yeah, that's.
So they what they did is they hire these like drill sergeants and make you feel like horrible about yourself, and then they make you strip down and they laugh at you in the whole nine.
It's like being in a fraternity again. Jeez.
Yeah. A live seminars and coaching academy in a third-party organization, which Panda has no ownership interest over, which is Exercise No Control, says a statement from company. While we always encourage personal growth and development, Panda Express has not and does not mandate that any associate participate in live seminars. So basically what they're saying is they're washing their hands with it, but they put them in this situation where they all got in a group and they yelled at them and said, you're nothing to us, and you got to strip down to your underwear and you got to hug this other guy, and people are crying in there, and this is for Panda Express. This is not like,
They're saying like goddamn chin chin. I'm having chin chin. They probably hit you with some fucking noodles in the back.
Oh man.
Tie you up over a pipe and like Pulp Fiction. They're in there.
Oh man.
Not to work. They got your calzones down. Fucking Zed comes in with a fucking chin outfit.
What would they call him? The Gimp?
Bring that kid. They got a little dude in there with a little boss big boy outfit.
Oh, the Gimp.
With a fucking hole cut in the front. Fucking Boston Market. Boston Market. That's why they went out of business. They pulled a dude out with a 2 holes in his culo. There's a fucking rod hanging out. We're thinking about opening a new location in Lancaster. Drop them. Alleged. That's all alleged. That's all alleged.
I'm gonna go to sleep with that song in my head.
Off the cuff, George.
That's
Step aside, Butch.
Oh, that's classic.
Did the guy who was getting boned have a Band-Aid on the back of his head, bald-headed?
I'm gonna do some medieval shit on his ass. What did he say? All right. Well, that was Well, first of all, what do you think of you having to go to anything like that? Should you, for Panda Express, have to do anything, any kind of team building?
No.
Look, man, I'm tainted. I was in a fraternity in college. You know what I mean?
What's the worst thing they made you do?
That's a good question. Let's see. It really wasn't that bad. I would say the scariest, worst thing they made us do was the night that we got our pledge pins, right?
Wait a minute. Your pledge pin! We had a show up at the stables every night at 4 a.m. I want the pledge pin!
No, we had to. We had to. Basically, you're gonna go run down the street in your boxer shorts, right?
Okay.
And this is the night you get pledged. You don't know what the hell's going on, and you got to run a half mile down the street to sorority row, which is just down the way from us. And you're like, it's not that bad. It's midnight, 1 a.m. No one's gonna be up. It's a Sunday night, and you run in your boxer shorts. You do your little fraternity chant. You drop your boxer shorts, put them on your head, and run back home.
Oh shit!
Right? It's called the dude run. Right? And so you're thinking it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and what you don't know is that all the sorority girls have been waiting for this all semester long. They know about it. So when you get there, they have like a stadium built with all these women with video cameras taking you, right? So you go, you drop them, come up, and then you have to go serenade them a week later. And the second you walk into that room in all the sorority houses, they chant, "We saw you naked." And then they have pictures. For me, they show up when I get up. You have to introduce yourself like it's a gentleman. And in a second I walk up, there's a huge picture of me naked, dong hanging out, everything. Right? Oh, man, it's ridiculous.
When you say you got a dong,
but that was the worst. That was the worst.
That thing's fucking big.
That was the worst.
That fucking you can't have a dong and be small.
Yeah.
That's like
ding is small, dong is long.
That's like, listen, I gotta call it a dong because it's massive.
Yeah, but it was team building. That's what they said. This is team building.
Did they at least were you hammered a little bit? Were you drinking pretty? heavily?
No. That's the crazy part. Is you are dead sober, dead sober when you do that. Right? That's rough. But no, it's so for me, I'm all about team building exercises.
Yeah.
Some people maybe not. Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's quite a bit of a thing.
Man.
I think it brings you closer, but maybe if you had like a mom and pop, and maybe the mom takes her bra off, like, "Hey kids, I'll show you something that you won't ever want to have anybody connected to these tits," and she just drops them. And their fucking nipples are fighting. They look like,
they're fighting.
They look like Miss Butterworth dripping down the side of some pancakes.
Oh man!
Right?
God.
Were we talking about that? Because
there's nothing.
That's awesome.
I don't know.
So would you have done it? Would you have done it? Would you put the chones on your head and run around naked?
When I worked at Fedco, would I have done it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have done it.
You would have? Really?
But also, that was a time when you didn't say anything,
Yeah. Well, just pure embarrassment would be the only reason that you wouldn't. But man, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
You wanted to be a part of that. But you had a great experience with the fraternity.
Great experience, honestly. But I got to tell you, it's your best friends, but also at fraternity in specific, and I'm sure it relates to the workplace. Your best friends come out of that place, and so do your worst enemies.
Ooh,
right?
That's interesting.
Best friends and worst enemies. Yeah.
And that's also where nobody had video cameras and stuff like that, right?
So that's when they just started coming out, like the phones with cameras, because this was 2002.
Okay.
And that's just when like Samsung started with the little video camera phone. But it was photos. Like these people had these massive. You'd see these women with these massive professional cameras with the zoom on it and everything. You're like, holy
that's
shit.
rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
If you find a picture, can I put it above that TV right there?
Yes, I will. If someone will produce that photo,
If someone's
I will
out
give it
there
to
and you
for
produce
here.
a photo, anybody that we talk about that has embarrassing photos, and if they do appear, we're gonna put them right
that'd
over
be
that
awesome.
area right there.
And anybody who like is willing to have it posted up there has to have a dong. You know what I mean? You're gonna be proud of it. You're like, hey, you can put my naked picture. I would never have you put my naked
But see,
picture.
back then, Facebook didn't exist. There was no social media.
Oh yeah.
That didn't exist then, and that's the key now. Is that's also immediate. Back then, you couldn't get it out like that.
And more power to the punch though. Once that was a real picture.
Yeah. Oh
they
yeah.
had to produce that.
Oh, it was a real
that's
picture.
awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't think that in a time like this where, you know, everything is social media, and if you put it up there, this is what young people don't believe. And, you know, years ago when Barack Obama was just elected, I think in his first maybe year, he was at, you know, I used to be on CNN, he was at a grade school in Florida. And he was getting ready to leave, and he asked if anybody wanted to ask any questions. And the kid said, you know, if I want to be president, what should I do, you know, at this age? And, he said, be careful what you put on Facebook, because once you put it on Facebook, you can't remove it. And if in 25 years from now, from whatever, or 40 years when you decide to run for president, that's still going to be there, and they will pull that up and use it against you. And it might be something that, you know, there's people that have tried to get out of workman's comp, and they post a picture of them dancing or post a picture of them in Hawaii when they're not supposed to be there, and they lose. You know, it's fraud. It's fraud anyways, but, you know, they undo themselves because, you know, they have to let everybody know on Facebook what's going on in their life.
Yeah, there's all that facial recognition. They post it up there and like, hey, Bryan Callen's supposed to be at work today, and there's Bryan Callen right there at a baseball game. It happens all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's
Either you or a
different
fucking
world.
condor showed up in a fucking shirt.
All right.
Fucking Nosy Perez over there.
Speaking of sperm, Insider.com. Scientists want to send 6.7 million sperm samples to the moon as a global insurance policy. Have you heard this at all?
No, that's interesting though.
Yeah, it's very.
Are they
Scientists,
all your loads that nobody wanted?
Well, what'd you do? Just floats around space?
exactly. All from Bryan Callen.
Perpetually?
There's some bird-like culture is
They're gonna put that in
developing
the
on the
payload.
moon.
Finally, a payload that fucking we want to get rid of.
Yeah, right. Scientists has suggested that humans could buy into modern global insurance policy by building an ark filled with 6.7 million sperm samples on the moon. The ark would involve shooting the sperm, pardon the expression, hey, all right, and ova samples of 6.7 million species up to the moon via multiple payloads. The sample would then be stored in a vault beneath the surface of the moon in a lunar pit.
If you think there's some ugly motherfuckers out here, when we reject our bad ovum and bad sperm to the moon, what do you think those motherfuckers will look like? They'll have, fucking suction cups coming out of their fucking back. They'll look human, but you know some shit that washes up in fucking Marina Del Rey that has like a man's head but a fucking stingray body, you know?
Of course.
Somebody fucked the towel and threw it in the water and a fucking stingray swallowed it.
I love that expression.
They don't end up
Somebody
in
fucked
fucking
the towel.
They don't end up in fucking Bubba Gumps.
Somebody
You'll
fucked
be
the
eating
towel.
a fucking man.
Ah, God, I fucked the towel.
Listen, man. I don't go to the Sizzler anymore, but I'm sure I ate a couple of fucking sperm samples over there. That Malibu chicken, where fucking Malibu, they're telling you.
Oh, man. But it's all
What kind of
for
batter
natural
do you use? You'll find them. Fucking guy with a fucking mouth on the side of his head. Is that the end?
I'm from the moon. Yeah, that's our last story. I mean, it's basically we're doing this to make sure that if any natural disaster happens,
You know
that
what?
we will
The moon-
be able to recharge.
I don't think we should do this because, listen, the moon is beautiful. And everybody in space, the Soviets and everybody tried to, land on the moon. Whether we did or not, it's up to debate if you're a conspiracy theorist person.
Right.
But, let's not fuck with the moon. Let's leave the moon as it is. Why don't you send it to Saturn or
Something really far away.
Uranus or Jupiter, some bullshit out there. Just, you know what? Or just say the fucking moon and just shoot it in the air. And once it breaks the atmosphere, just fucking mech will float in a circle forever.
The rain smells
big
funny.
loads out there.
The rain smells like Clorox.
Oh.
I would like to know.
Smells like clothes.
I would like to know who would decide what samples get to go. Right? You could
Probably
totally
Jerry Springer.
all the special people that get along. You send them up into the moon.
Well, I think you decide by whichever ones nobody wants, right? Like the trash.
I don't know if it would be right. I mean, wouldn't you want to like if you're wiped out by an asteroid down here, you got to start this all over. Someone's got to have some say in who's in there, right?
Yeah. What was the name of that movie that Elijah Wood was in and Morgan Freeman was the president? What was that called?
What was that
Legally
movie?
Sobieski was in it.
Yeah,
it was the same thing. Like they picked and chose who got
Deep
the deep
impact.
impact. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, well
who
done,
got to
well
be
done.
saved. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Deep
The
impact.
government will choose.
I'll say,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
the government will choose if they think you're a person who will add to rebuilding the culture. That's who sperm goes up.
Yeah.
Right.
See, and
Yeah,
now we got another.
scientists, sperms, everything. athletes, all of them.
Yeah. see?
George Lopez sperm go up there for comedy. When you get entertainers.
I can reach it
Let
from
me know.
here.
I gotta call Carolina, tell her not to wash those towels.
They got to go to space.
Don't wash those towels. I'm going to to NASA. As part of the Crema Institute.
Beautiful, and that
All right,
was
good, man.
that
Thank
was
you.
our news, man.
You've done a great job today, Brian. Thank you. He's still learning.
Whatever. I still
As
I'm still
entertaining
here.
as a fucking blister. But I couldn't
Thank you
have
very much.
done it without you.
God bless you.
My best friend in the whole world.
Thank you, everybody, for listening in to Oh My God Hi.
Who are our guests?
Our guests were Bryan Espinoza, executive producer of Walking with Herb,
And who else?
and Ross Marks, the director of Walking with Herb. And we thank them greatly. They were awesome. He was actually not in the studio, but he was with us as well. We didn't get a chance to drink our delicious beer.
I hope everybody gets a chance to enjoy this movie. It's really good. And great job, Brian. Thank you for being a champion of the film, man.
Absolutely.
As well.
This is a great one. Thanks for having me on, guys. Had a lot of fun today. So if you get a chance to be a guest on the show, take it. You're going to drink some good free beer.
That's right.
Oh, that was
If
awesome.
you get a chance to see anybody naked, take it. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week on Oh My God Hi!